Just when you think 2020 couldn't get any worse, it did. It did. So let's go through like a rundown here. Assassination of a top Iranian general, Soleimani, in Iran. You know, there were fucking idiots saying, "Oh, he was a terrorist." Bullshit. He was fighting ISIS on the front lines, which is way more than you can say about our military. But anyway, obviously the pandemic, which I've done a video on, and not only that, but you know, mass unemployment. We're hitting damn near like Great Depression levels of unemployment. And now, to top it all off, we have the unjustified murder of an innocent African American man, George Floyd, in Minneapolis, that's sparking protest and even riots in the US and also in many countries around the world. So it's like if you were to go back in time and say, I'm from the year 2020, and people are asking, oh, what's it like? Well, picture the Spanish flu pandemic, the Great Depression, and the like anti-Vietnam protest in like 1968, all in one, all happening at once. But this video, it's more about not the protest, although I will say I haven't really gone to work in the past. I'm clearing my throat. This isn't a COVID cough. Just throwing that out there. No, but I haven't gone to work in the past week because when I get off the train, I have to like go past a drawbridge, and the drawbridges have been up. Like usually they're down. You don't even know they're drawbridges, and then they're up, and the bells are ringing like ding 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 like a railroad crossing. And I couldn't even go to work because of that shit. It was like I felt like a Berliner in 1961. I'm like, I can't go to work. There's a fucking wall in the way. There's a wall blocking my path. Now, I don't necessarily consider that a false comparison, you know, because this is something that was, you know, unexpected, and it happened quite literally overnight, just like the construction of the Berlin Wall. I mean, I have a piece of the wall, for fuck's sake, when I was in Berlin, and you know, I learned a lot about it too, and you know, people were trapped in, people couldn't go to work, they couldn't, you know, see their families for 28 years. Although obviously this isn't as bad, this isn't nearly as bad, but it's the closest to a Berlin Wall situation that I'll ever come, I think, in my lifetime. And that also, as you can see, I finally got a haircut. I've pretty much waited it out. And I was able to do it with my face mask the whole time. So I'm asking the hairdresser, like, oh yeah, I was wondering how you're gonna like do this around like the face masks and shit, but there was a way. So, but anyway, this video is more about the looters, not the protesters, but the looters. If you loot if you steal from someone's like business, you're a piece of shit. You're scum. There's no other way of saying it. There's no other way around it. You're just bottom of the earth scum to society, because like I can't stand these people who like they take advantage of like, you know, any kind of civil unrest, and then they just burn down like an AutoZone or some shit, or you know, they steal from like Best Buy or Target. It's like, are you serious? Like what are you trying to accomplish here? Like, you don't need, you know, like a fucking Nintendo Switch or something. You don't need this like new iPhone that you can like steal, you know? Like, you don't need these things to live. Like, if this were Katrina, I might have, and I do, you know, kind of remember that. I wasn't in New Orleans, obviously, but you know, there was, I think you can say, like, understandable and like legitimate looting. People like stealing just maybe some food, because hey, you know what, I'm fucking starving, I haven't eaten in days. So that looting I can understand, but if you're like stealing from like Best Buy, Circuit City, well, they're not really around anymore, but you get what I mean. If you're stealing like merchandise, I'm just like, fuck you, you know? You're just a piece of shit. And even beyond that, the stores they're stealing from and like burning down, they're basically people who, maybe immigrated to this country from wherever, and they're living their American dream. They have families to support. Um, they have mouths to feed. They got children. They got wives and whatnot. And this is their living. This is how they contribute to society. This is what they do. And you're taking that away from them. And add on top of that these people, like, we're talking. I mean, the time all this unrest even unfolded, we're talking these businesses that probably just opened up too. So, they were, for the longest time, they were like really scraping by. You know, a lot of them probably haven't gotten any stimulus check. I mean, I haven't, although at the same time, I don't really need it because I'm still employed. But for these people, like, you're really screwing them over if you're just looting from them and you're just burning down their store and trashing it. Like, I have no sympathy for those people. So all I'm saying is, in a situation like this, hey, I'm all for peaceful protesting and all that. I'm all for it. But like, when you loot and you steal from like people who had nothing to do with George Floyd's murder, I will not stand for that. You know what else I won't stand for? Trump threatening to deploy the U.S. military on U.S. streets. That is a big constitutional no-no. You don't do that. You do not do that. That is deeply against the First Amendment. But, and as far as I know, I think the majority of the looting, I want to say it stopped as of today, June 5th. But I'm not so sure. It might continue. I'm just hoping that, when this is, and who knows how long this will go on for, because this has definitely surpassed the LA riots of 1992. Obviously, that was like 3 years before I was born. But that went out for less than a week. And this has already surpassed a week, so who knows how long this is going to go on for. But I just want to say, Black Lives Matter, obviously, and we definitely need like a Che Guevara type revolutionary coup within like the police system. Like, it just massively needs to be reformed. Any neo-Nazis or incels, they shouldn't be cops. Domestic abusers, wife beaters, like, they shouldn't be able to be in law enforcement. No for-profit policing, and when you convict cops, treat them like, convict them like as if they were just an ordinary civilian. And, no special prosecutors, nothing like that. Just treat them like a normal human being. And if you lock them up or incarcerate them, no special treatment, okay? Just leave them with the general prison population and let them deal with it. And they'll get what they deserve, just like Jeffrey Dahmer. End of for-profit policing. No more broken windows policing. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that needs to change. And with the way we do policing in the United States, a lot needs to change. Training and all those aforementioned things. And that's pretty much it. Don't loot. Don't take advantage of situations like this during protests. Protest peacefully. Don't engage in any offensive violence. That's all I'm saying. And that's pretty much it. I mean, rest in peace, George Floyd, and anyone else who has been wrongly murdered by police all over the world. And, I just want to show my solidarity, while at the same time telling people not to steal, not to loot, not to take advantage of the situation. Thank you.